Hi.
Hey.
My first In the Weeds story tonight is a story that happened to me when I was 22 years old. I had graduated from Wesleyan. I was working as a waitress at Jim Shaw's and also at Cuco's, which was a Mexican place on Riverside at the time. It was a weird time in my life because I had just ended my first and only foray into the corporate world. I was working at Jim Shaw's one night. I had a table. They thought I did such a great job. They were working here in town for Marriott. They were opening the Courtyard by Marriott. And they recruited me to come and run their dining room for them. I was so excited. I was going to take the world by fire. I was just so excited. They recruited me. I went to work there, and I quickly realized it was not going to work out. I called it the Scariot on day one. I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning, and that was the time I was usually headed to bed back then. The outfit we had to wear was a gray elastic waist polyester skirt that hit at the knee. That's the most flattering length we all know. A long sleeve mauve shirt, Oxford button down, with a gray sweater vest over it. And, maybe you could do something with that, but they also insisted that we wear suntan-colored pantyhose with safety shoes. So I had to get up at 4:30 every morning and put that outfit on and not try to hate myself. I was not very successful at it. And I got in trouble all the time. I had always been an exemplary employee. I never had gotten in trouble. I thought I was, a pretty good worker. No. They called it coaching and counseling sessions, which meant they just sat you down in a room and told you how much you sucked. That's what that meant. And you had to sign off on it saying, yeah, I know I suck, I'm sorry. So I had those at least twice a week. Finally, I got up the courage to quit the job. They made me sit for an exit interview. I was so naive. I didn't know that you could just leave. I didn't know you could just walk out the door. I thought you had to fill out all these forms or something bad was going to happen on your permanent record. So I filled out the exit form, but I did put, when they said reason for leaving, I said, too young to do something that sucks this bad. So I'm pretty down on myself, and I'm driving down Riverside Drive, and I needed a job. I knew I was going to have to go crawling back to Jim Shaw's and beg them to take me back, but I didn't know if they would. And I got the job at Cuco's. And I also did manage to land my job at Shaw's back. So the story happens one night at Cuco's. There's a group of about 15 women that come in, and they all work for Victoria's Secret. I'm going to call the ringleader Brittany, and I apologize to any Brittany's who are in the audience, but she was sort of the ringleader of the group. And these girls made Regina from Mean Girls look like the Walton sisters. I mean, it was unbelievable. Not only did their size 0 selves hold 30,000 baskets of chips and salsa, they hated everything. They sent the drinks back. They sent the food back. They taunted me. They made fun of me. And I'm standing there thinking, these girls are wearing this beautiful lingerie. And I probably got panties with the wrong day of the week on them. Something. Probably do right now, too. So I'm a seasoned veteran, though. It wasn't my first day on the job. I had hard tables before. But for some reason, these chicks really got to me. And I went in the bathroom and I just ugly cried. And I had never done that, in years. I had to go home. The manager had to go out there and take all their money. Of course, they didn't tip me anything. And on the way out, I could hear them talking about me, like, fuck that ugly waitress, she ain't a bitch. And so I was so upset. I went home, and then the next night was a Friday night, and I had to go to work at Jim Shaw's. So I get to Jim Shaw's, and I tell my friend Cindy what had happened to me. Now, Cindy, her name was Cindy Zellner, and she remains, to this day, the best waitress I have ever seen, ever. She could wait on this whole bar, and it would seem like she had one table. She really saved me. When I started Shaw's, I didn't know how to do anything, really. And I was coming from fine dining, and they made your salads. You didn't have to make your salads. You have to make your own salad dressing before you went to work. You have to cut 60,000 tubs of lemons, So she really saved me, and I told her what had happened. I told her about the mean girls and how they made me cry, and she looked at me and she said, no. She said, be at my house tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and bring vodka. Okay. So I get to her house with the vodka. We have some 10 a.m. screwdrivers, and we head to the mall to the Victoria's Secret. And the way that the store was laid out back then is straight back. There was a huge chifforobe, and they had big drawers in it, and that's where they put the bras. So they'd have the little tiny size in the top drawer, and then my size in the bottom drawer. And then they had just the racks with things with the little hangers. It's forever to get off and on, the little 2 hooks. So the first thing we did was we went back to the back and we rearranged all the bras. We put the 42Ds with the 32Es. Then we sort of eased around the store and sort of mixed up all the sizes. Sort of mixed them all up. Oh, and Brittany was there. She was manager. So I look at Cindy and I'm like, that's her. She was the worst one. She said, don't worry, we're going to get her. So we do that, and I was pretty happy with that. I mean, I was like, this is rebellious. She said, no, we're not done. She said, get a bunch of stuff and come to the dressing room. So we get a bunch of stuff, and they really weren't paying that much attention to us. So we were just wandering around the store, rearranging the store while they were doing whatever they were doing. Probably thinking about their next, how they're going to make somebody cry. And we go in the dressing room, and we probably had 40 things by the time this was over. We didn't damage anything. We didn't, harm it, but we took it off the hangers and threw that shit everywhere. So then Cindy goes up to Brittany and says, excuse me, I am appalled. I shop at Victoria's Secret all the time, and I have never seen a store in such disarray. And Brittany says, I don't know what you mean. And she goes, well, just go look in that dressing room. It is disgusting. So she goes in the dressing room, and all we hear is, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. So she comes back out, and Cindy's just laying into her. I'm going to need your district supervisor's number. I'm going to need some addresses. I'm writing letters. I am going to report this store. This is just a travesty. And look at all this stuff in the store. It's just all messy. It's not everything's a mess. And they're just stunned. They don't know what to do. They're like, how did that shit get like that? So I look at her, and I see this faint hint of recognition. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and she looks at Cindy, and she goes, Cuckoos? And we started to walk out the door, and Cindy turns around and says, don't fuck with waitresses. Thank you.